What's up, Burn Boot Camp? Welcome back to the Burn Boot Camp podcast. I'm your host, Morgan, and we're going to talk about burnout and how to avoid burnout. So I got this question asked to me the other day by one of the members in one of our Georgia gyms. You know, you've been at this for 11 years. How do you avoid burnout? Have you been burnt out? Or how do you anticipate that it's coming? And what do you do to change it? And so I'm going to share my answer because I think it's important for people to understand that the last 11 years of Burn Boot Camp have not been sunshine and roses, for sure. You know, there's been hard times. There's been times for me that I've had to dig really, really deep mentally and remind myself why I'm on the path that I'm on. And so I can't say that I've ever been burnt out by the true definition that I think society uses that word. I've never felt burnt out, okay? That doesn't mean that I haven't felt, just exhausted from just everything and or even questioned my own self-worth in the roles that I'm in, okay? I've certainly done that, but for me, I haven't reached a burnout and I don't feel like I ever will because I'm so in alignment with what I want to be doing, okay? The core values of myself and who I truly am as a human being, who Morgan is so much of what Burn Boot Camp represents. And so for as long as I'm in this brand, I don't feel like I'm going to be burnt out. Now, yes, I get tired of having to make all the decisions sometimes, or I get tired of trying to manage my home life with my work life and everything else in between. But true career burnout is not something that I have felt, and it's something that I believe that you don't have to feel as long as you're in alignment with what you truly want to do. And so, if you're in a career where you're feeling burnt out, number one is kind of sit in that moment for a little bit and ask yourself why. Are you burnt out just because there's a lot of things going on in your life right now and you don't know how to manage and juggle them all? And if that's the answer, then I'm going to give you a couple tips that I would recommend. So if you're feeling just overwhelmed in general, sometimes we confuse that with burnout, right? Overwhelm, burnout, I think are two different things. And so if you're overwhelmed and then you're kind of blaming your career because you just don't know how to do it all, get clear about what you are spending your time on. So I've said this before, and I'm going to say it again because it's what I do. Audit your time. What are you saying yes to and what are you saying no to? I have caught myself so many times saying yes to so many people and so many things. And I think as women, we tend to do that. We tend to carry so much, right? Mentally, we have this mental load that sits on us that not a lot of people can see, right, with the naked eye. But I'm just going to give a small example. Easter baskets or St. Patrick's Day baskets for your kids. Mentally, that could tear at me oh, you got to do this, and for the kids, and they've got this going on, and we got to make this day special, and it's just a lot, right? And so I can feel overwhelmed in this world where I've got so much going on at work, and I'm not able to do all these things for my kids, and so then I'm mad at my work, I'm resentful for my work, I got too much going on, but then I'm wait, why am I doing baskets for St. Patrick's Day? Do I want to do that, or do I feel pressured to do that by society? Do I feel like I'm saying yes to things that I need to do, but they're not really in alignment with what I want to do? I don't want to give my kids candy, again, for another holiday. They get enough sugar, right? I don't, the whole leprechaun thing, I didn't grow up with having leprechaun prints, on St. Patrick's Day. Why? I don't need to say yes to that, even though I feel this pressure on social media because all the other moms are doing it, and God forbid I don't do it. So that's just a small example of what are the things that you're mentally saying yes to or physically saying yes to, whether that's lunch and coffee and this and that, and things that don't align with your what you want to do, not what other people are doing, but what you want to do. So when we bring on all this extra stuff, right, it feels impossible to manage that and then also manage your job. And the first thing that you're going to feel is the problem is your job, right? Because, your family comes first and yourself comes first. And I totally understand that. But for me, I try to take a holistic approach of is it my job that I'm feeling this burnout or this stress? Or is it just everything in my entire life that I've got going on? And what do I need to start saying no to? Whether that is your job and things in there or whether it's that personal side of things. So if that's what you're feeling when you think burnout is just overwhelmed and unbalanced, go back to your calendar. Go back to auditing your time. Go back to thinking, what pressures am I putting on myself that I just need to stop, that I just need to release and let go? So that would be my advice there. But secondly, if you get really, intentional with yourself and think about, okay, am I burnt out? Are you in alignment with your career anymore? And if you aren't, that's okay. Like, life is meant to be lived by design. And so you probably feel stuck in a career because, of course, you have to make money, you have to pay bills, you have to provide. But if you're not in alignment with your job, if you're not excited to go there every single day, if there's not some fire that's still burning inside of you, make a plan today to get out of that job and go do something new. Like, I can't tell you, I quit my job. It took a lot of thought. It took about 6 to 8 months, right? I quit my job at Kellogg's, which was a safe, secure, I don't even know if it's safe and secure, but in my mind, it was safe and secure. Granted, there was like layoffs a couple weeks after I left. I probably would have been one of them, okay? But I know that feeling, so I can relate to you if you're like, but I'm in this safe job, I'm making money, I'm providing for my family, but don't clock in and clock out of life. Guys, life is meant to be way more lived than that. Do not clock in and clock out of life. Find something that you're passionate about. Find something that you love. Make a plan, okay? When I decided that I wanted to quit my job, I made a plan about it, right? I saved money. I had some, security. I knew that, hey, I'm going to go take a chance on something, which was join forces with Burn Bootcamp and start my own business. But guess what? If that fails, go back to applying for another job. Go back to that security if that's what you need. But making a plan is so much better, and actually going after something is so much better than sitting in burnout and resentment and hate for your career or for something that's going on in your life. And so if you're feeling out of alignment, then you should make a change. And I even encourage people that work for me, like, if burn is no longer serving you, you should leave. Like, I don't feel guilt around that. Like, it's not me. It's because there's something that's happened where we're no longer in alignment with each other. Maybe their core values have changed. Maybe they feel like ours has changed. Whatever the case may be, it's okay. People are allowed to move on, right? They're allowed to go do something that gives them that fire again. So I never take it personally. And, I think there's two kinds of burnouts. It's the overwhelm of everything you've got going on, and then there's the actually, like, I'm not incongruent with what I'm doing anymore. I'm not proud to be doing this anymore. This doesn't give me fulfillment and passion. And I think you really need to dig deep if you're feeling that word burnout and understand what it is and make a plan. Communicate with the people around you, whether that be your boss or whether that be your spouse or your children, to figure out what is the highest priorities in your life that you need to be spending your time doing. But I don't feel burnt out. I love Burn Bootcamp. I love what I'm doing. Do I feel overwhelmed at times? Absolutely. Do I feel stressed out at times? Absolutely. But it's temporary. It's a temporary feeling because I have a lot going on. And that ebbs and flows, and it has for 11 years. But I've never said, like, I'm no longer incongruent with what I'm doing. There's still so much more that I want to accomplish. So that's what keeps me fired up. And if that fire ever burns out, then I will give the reins to someone else that has that fire, because the brand deserves someone to be leading it that is excited every single day to go make it better and to add as much value to the brand and to the people's lives that touch the brand. So hopefully that helped you guys if you're navigating burnout versus just overwhelm. Thank you so much for always listening. Make sure you subscribe to our channel, both on YouTube and where you're listening to this right now on a new podcast channel. And we will talk to you guys later. 2 claps on 2. 1, 2.